What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Welcome back to the channel. Finally getting around to posting again, hopefully. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a life update, mini vlog, and finally do a desk setup video, which I've been meaning to do since last year. A while back, I posted a little Instagram poll after buying my laptop asking, hey, would you guys want to watch a desk setup video? And I know some of y'all that follow me are interested in tech and things like that, and that's definitely something that I really enjoy. I really enjoy tech videos, desk setup videos, stuff like that, room tours. I've always been a fan of very clean but functional setups. If you look at channels such as Optimum Tech or Random Frank P's room tour setup videos, I've always tried to emulate some things that I've seen there. Obviously, I don't have the most extravagant or most minimal setup there is, but it's definitely worked for me for the past year or so. But first, we need to clean my room up. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that this is a pretty long video. Just skip down here if you want me to actually talk about my setup right now. I know this intro's been really, really long. All right, this is it right now. Got bed moved over, desk is next to it. It's gonna be a little bit before I clean everything up. I got to get some new Ethernet cables in and a couple more HDMI cables that so I can kind of rearrange things on my desk. Still in the works, but it's looking a lot more spacious, at least in the desk area, than before, which I kind of really wanted.
One day later.
All right, it is the next day. Finally got the desk moved over and everything. The room is still kind of messy. I haven't been able to actually clean up the wires under there, so that is the next step of the operation.
What is the next step of the operation?
As you can see, it's a pretty big mess of just cables hanging everywhere, and you probably saw there's a bunch of boxes up here that need to be moved or taped under the desk. So I got some 3M double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to hopefully clean everything up. I do have some extra cable channels if I need it, but we shall see.
One eternity later.
Just wrapped up all the cable management stuff. Now all I gotta do is kind of just clean up the rest of the room. But yeah, I'm really glad I finally got around to doing that, just because I had way too many cables hanging under the desk and they were kind of getting all tangled up. I just wanted to clean up the desk space itself, make it a little bit cleaner, more organized, and not a whole bunch of random power boxes and cables and everything on the desk.
Don't let it go. Chasing a dream.
All right, we finally got everything all set up. The desk is still on sliders just in case I need to move anything around. We have everything wired up. Everything is nice and cable managed to a certain extent. There's still some cables that I really can't hide all too well. And yeah, this is it. This is my desk setup for 2025. You will probably see some changes here and there in the future as I continue to improve and upgrade things. I don't think it's ever going to be a one and done setup, at least for now. I always think there's always room for improvement. Things can always be optimized, but I think this is a very good place to start documenting how this setup evolves over time. Shout out Buc-ee's, man, it's the promised land. Now to my current desk setup. This is a K-series desk from Apex Desk. It is 60 by 27 inches. I got the second hand from a friend for a really good deal, honestly. It has steel legs that can take a huge amount of weight. I've never had an issue with it. It has this white top right here, which I'm not the biggest fan of the color, but it was a really good deal, so I really can't complain. It has 4 different presets, which I like to have a low preset for where I'm sitting, a little bit higher than that, and a 4th preset, which I currently set to the highest raise height, which is 49 inches. And that's just able to kind of throw this chair underneath and kind of clear out the space in my bedroom just a little bit. So it has a pretty good range of heights, in my opinion, at least for me. Maybe if you're a little bit taller, you'd like a little bit higher of a desk. Or if you're shorter, you might want a little bit lower, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Now that gives me a good point to stop and show you guys the kind of mid-tier cable management setup that I have back here. As you can see, I have a power strip right here, and then all the cables are kind of tucked away in some cable routes underneath. And then I have another power strip on this corner right here, and that kind of just plugs in all the PC, plugs in the PC, the monitors, and a couple of other things that I need powered. Now what's nice is that with the way I've set everything up, there's only 2 cables that you can really see coming down from the desk to the floor. There's an Ethernet cable right here, which I haven't really routed out completely. And then the main power for the desk, which goes up to both power strips. Bringing it back down now. As far as PC goes, this is my custom PC I originally built in 2022, like I said, but I've recently upgraded it. Currently, it has a Ryzen 9 5900X, 32 gigabytes of 3600 RAM, and it still has a 3060 Ti, which for me has served me very well, especially as a budget card. Now, I do have plans to upgrade in the future. Currently, the 3060 is getting a little dated. It still performs well for what I need, but I would like a little bit better performance, especially whenever I do game. The CPU and RAM are fine. They handle workloads pretty well. And since I've switched over to my MacBook, I haven't really used the PC too much for work stuff. I would like to downsize to a smaller case. This is already a micro ATX case, so it isn't as tall or as chunky as some like the dual chamber cases, but I would still like to upgrade to a smaller footprint, something like the Ncase M2, which can take an M-ATX motherboard and ATX power supply, which I think is fantastic. The big thing for me over the last year was switching to Mac. I picked up this M1 Max MacBook Pro. The main thing was I needed to be able to work on the go. I couldn't be tied to having to edit stuff at this desk 100% of the time, especially when we're traveling for powerlifting meets and doing powerlifting coverage. Previously, I did have other laptops that I used. I had a Dell XPS 15 9570 and a really old 2016 MacBook Pro, like one of the Intel ones. At the time, the Dell was great when I bought it. Like it could handle 4K footage, I could play Call of Duty on it, I could do whatever. But over time, the battery pretty much gave out. It doesn't even last like 15 or 20 minutes unplugged when I'm even on Chrome. Now the 2016 MacBook Pro was a loaner from a friend of mine. I had used that for a couple months while I was saving up for this M1 Max MacBook Pro. The M1 Max will most likely be my main editing machine for at least a couple years. It's got a 10-core CPU and a 32-core GPU, I think 32 gigabytes of shared RAM, which for me is plenty. I can have Photoshop, Lightroom, Resolve, and like a million tabs of Chrome open at the same time, and I never really see any huge performance drops at all. Now, I still prefer some Windows stuff over Mac, but you really can't beat the ability to kind of airdrop things to your phone when you're on the go and file share between other Mac users, which a lot of the people that I work with are also on Mac, so it's really easy to be able to share stuff pretty much instantly as soon as you finish editing it, instead of having to drop it into a cloud share service and then re-download it onto your phone. So onto peripherals. My main monitor is a 27-inch 1440p 165Hz monitor from LG. Don't know the exact name, but I'll put it in the description below. It's fantastic. I've used this for well over 2 years now. For gaming especially, if you're not super sweaty, it looks great. The panel is fairly color accurate. It pretty much gets 90% of the job done. It would probably be best to calibrate it, but calibration tools are super expensive. Now, there is a monitor light bar on the top that was gifted to me from a friend. Unfortunately, it is kind of offset because of the hump that the LG monitor has on the back, and I haven't really rigged it in a way that I can put it in the middle and kind of even things out, but It's been great. It lights up the desk space, does what a monitor light bar is supposed to do. My secondary display right here is a 1080p 27-inch monitor from AOC. I think it's 144 hertz. It's great for Spotify, Discord, whatever second display you want or secondary items you want to throw off to the side. This is actually my second one of these. The first one, I had some really bad issues with like the bottom part of the monitor shutting off, the pixels being broken. I got that RMA'd, got sent this second one, and I still have the same issues. So this is likely going to be thrown out in the near future, and it'll probably be replaced with another one. These monitors are sitting on some Vivo monitor arms. I got them on sale on Amazon for I think like 50 bucks or something like that. They're pretty solid because they are very adjustable, unlike those solid monitor arms. So I can sort of swing the monitors around and bring them up and down very easily. In terms of upgrading, I do plan on getting an OLED monitor, maybe later on this year. I think OLED's the future. I would really like to get one of those new dual mode OLEDs from LG where it's 480 hertz at 1080p and 240 hertz at 4K. And obviously you really can't beat the color contrast. And frankly, the prices have gone down a lot, but honestly not enough for my budget. Moving on to the keyboard and mouse. Now this is a Tecware Phantom TKL keyboard. This is the same keyboard I've been using for years and years now. There are some HyperX keycaps on there. I forgot the name of like what it's called, like the shine through keycaps at the bottom. And then I have a custom escape key. I got that from a friend, I think last year. Nathan, you know who you are. I don't have any other mods besides that. It is a budget board, but you know, I got it for like 40 bucks on Amazon. You really can't beat that. We'll hopefully be upgrading to a better keyboard in the future, but honestly, I really don't have the need to. And then the mouse I'm using is this MX vertical mouse that I got from my friend Dan. Very ergonomic and comfortable, but it was quite a bit of a change going from like a gaming mouse to something that's this shaped. I did have a Razer Viper Mini that I no longer used. Back when I used to play mouse and keyboard for Warzone, that was fantastic for a budget mouse, but I switched back to controller. The mouse pads that are sitting on my desk, this is a Mad Catz Glide 19 on the right, just for my mouse, and then this is just a leather desk mat that I bought off Amazon. Onto audio. I did used to use this Razer headset for a long time. This is the Razer Kraken, I think. I'll throw up the exact name of it, but this was another sort of budget-ish gaming headset that I used for a very long time. I don't really use it too often anymore. The mic on this, however, is so good. Compared to like all of the wireless gaming headsets, this mic has been very crisp. And honestly, if you're just looking for like a budget pickup so that you can listen to music and have a decent mic, honestly, you can't go wrong with this. And I have that hanging on a headphone hanger off to the right side of my desk. Now my current setup are some IEMS. These are the KZ ZS10 Pros. Now I've been running these IEMS for the last 8 months or so, and I probably will never switch back to like a full-time headphone. They're very comfortable. I've like had them sitting in my ears for hours and never got any fatigue. And I finally don't have to have a headset dent, which is great. Sitting on a mic arm is this Fifine AM8T. This is a budget USB/XLR mic. Very solid sound for the price. I got it on sale for like $50 or $60, and it came with a mic arm, which was great. Now, if you watched my first YouTube video, you probably noticed I was using that to record some of my voiceover stuff. It's been great. I have that hooked up to both my PC and Mac. All right, I just want to pop in. I realized that I didn't actually put in a segment testing this mic. I was recording with the DJI Mic 1, the regular mic, like the little portable mics, but I just wanted to give you guys a comparison with this mic when I'm doing voiceovers compared to the other mic. So let me know how it sounds. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And yeah, back to the video. Now, to connect everything together, and switch my peripherals between my Mac and my PC. I have a little USB switcher mounted underneath my desk. I plugged in my mic, my keyboard, and my mouse into there, and that way I'm just able to hit a button and switch it over to the PC, and then if I need to switch quickly back over to the Mac, I hit the button again and there you go, switches back. As far as the monitors go, I've just been just changing the input. I could buy like a full-on KVM, but I think those are a little too pricey for me. This most recent pickup for the desk was the CalDigit TS4. This is a Thunderbolt 4 dock, I believe, and I use just one cable to be able to connect my Mac to all my peripherals. It's been great. The speeds have been amazing. Really can't go wrong with one. It is really expensive though, and I really hated dropping like $350 on it, but it really cleaned up the desk a lot. This is my main gaming controller. I know I don't post any gaming stuff, but whenever I do play video games, I use, what is it, Xbox Elite Series 2 or something like that. Now this controller has been pretty good. It has back buttons right here, little clicky back buttons, hair triggers, been fantastic. It does have a lot of stick drift after using it for the past like 2.5 years, but I'm not super sweaty when it comes to COD. A lot of my other friends are, and I totally get on by them. Now when it comes to storage, I mainly work and edit off of these SSDs. I usually always have one with me. They're really great, they're fast. If you don't already have one, at least pick up one and it'll be a life changer for you. Now I really do want to have a much larger backup that is attached to my network. I have thought about getting a NAS drive or something similar to that. For now, I currently have 1 terabyte in my laptop, at least 8 or 9 terabytes in SSDs, and I have another 3 in my PC, and then 6 in another backup drive. So for now, I'll have enough storage. The big question is this overkill? Probably. I definitely could do my work with a much less complicated, not really complicated, with a lot less stuff. Like for the longest time, I was just using a laptop, but it is, for me, it is still very important to have certain things that help my productivity. A really clean workspace was really important to me to be able to do work effectively and not get distracted by a million things. Now, in the future, I do plan to upgrade the PC. Like I said, I want to get a new GPU, maybe CPU as well, or just maybe build a whole new system and downsize to a small form factor case. Monitors are getting a little bit dated, but you know, OLED monitors are very expensive, like I said, so that'll be a little bit further down the road. No, the overall theme of this setup, I would say, is functional and slightly aesthetic. This is probably one of the most common setups you have: PC/laptop, main monitor, and then vertical monitor with a mic on a boom arm. Pretty much every other YouTuber has gone through a very similar setup. It's not the most aesthetic. I don't have a lot of like decorations around here, but it is very functional. A lot of this stuff was budget but functional, and I think that's a huge thing for me and to you guys that are probably watching all these other tech YouTubers that are getting sent products. This is a more realistic depiction of what you could probably do. And then again, I did buy a lot of this stuff on budget, and I was gifted a lot of this stuff. So my recommendation is buy as you go. You know, you don't have to get the top of the end 4K OLED monitor and a 4090 Ti with whatever specs on your PC, or like the brand new M4 Max. You can do so much with a very low budget. If you have any other questions or recommendations for me, please leave a comment below. I am interested to see what you guys think of my setup or things that I could probably improve. If you like this kind of content, drop a like down below, hit that subscribe button with the bell notification. It really means a lot to me, and I will hopefully continue to document the ever-evolving process of having a work setup. Peace.